my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video we're going to be stitching up the back to school scarf that goes along with our back to school beanie. Now this is the beanie that we made last week. This beautiful textured hat, but it is a lot easier than you think it is. And if you want the pattern for the hat, I put the link underneath this video, okay, for the hat, as well as the link for the scarf. Now the scarf is similar. You can see the repeats are a little bit bigger because on the hat we're going in a circle, but on the scarf we're going back and forth. And so I wanted it to be just a little bit bigger in our repeats, okay? It looks similar, you can see that, but it is just a little bit different. But it matches beautifully, and you can see how beautiful it stitches up with the ombre yarn. And this is the same yarn I used for this hat. And we'll talk more about yarns in just a couple minutes. Now the scarf measures approximately 8 inches across and 50 inches long. But of course, you can make it as long as needed or as short as needed just by the amount of repeats that you do. Now, the rule of thumb when you're making a scarf is you make the scarf the same length as the person is tall. If you're making this for a 5-foot person, make it 5 feet long. If you're making this for a 6.5-foot person, make it 6.5 feet long. That's just the rule of thumb that I use when making the length of a scarf. All right? I think this makes a wonderful set. And again, you can find the link for the hat as well as the link for the scarf. I'll put that link underneath this video. They have pictures and lots of information that will help you in making this beautiful set. It makes a wonderful set whether you're going back to school or not. It's a great teacher set. It's a great parent set. It's a great teen set. And the hat measures, like I said before, about 22 to 24 inches. And remember, when making a hat, you should always make it 2 inches smaller than the person's head measures. Because remember, hats are very stretchy and they do sometimes stretch as we wear them. All right, so let's find out what we need to make our matching scarf. So as I stated, we're using the same yarn that we used to make the hat. And this is Premier Just Yarn Worsted Value Ombre. I believe these are $6.99 a skein, but I can't remember the exact price. But if you buy one of these skeins, it has 612 yards or 9.8 ounces. And you can make both the hat and the scarf from one of these skeins of yarn. Okay? So you're going to need about 6 ounces for the scarf. And the other 3 ounces, 0.8, is for the hat. So if you buy one of these Just Value Ombre skeins, you can make both the hat and the scarf with one of these skeins. This is a medium weight number 4. The color for this one is called Butterscotch Ombre, and it is 100% acrylic yarn. Okay? And I love this particular yarn because the changes in color are they're subtle, yes, but they're shorter. And so when you're making a scarf or a hat, you're getting lots of shades of that ombre, and it looks just gorgeous. And again, this one is called Butterscotch. And they have, I think it's 6 new colors, along with the other colors that they already had. So there's lots of colors to choose from. If you want to go and buy one of these from Premier Yarn, my Premier Yarn link is underneath this video as well. You can just click that link and then look up Premier Just Yarn Value. I couldn't resist it. I bought a bunch of them. I love this particular yarn. We're going to stitch today with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, just like we did with the hat. And then besides that, all you need is a needle and a pair of scissors. There isn't any buttons, zippers, Velcro, anything else that you need. Just the yarn, the crochet hook, needle for weaving in ends, and a pair of scissors to cut your yarn. Now, as I stated earlier, the stitching on the scarf is just a little bit different. We're using the same stitch pattern. It's just a little bit different because on the hat we were stitching around, but on the scarf we're going to be stitching back and forth. All right, so we're going to start with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 28 chains. I have stitched 28 chains, and we're going to begin by stitching a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. We never count that loop that's on our hook. So 1, 2, single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet in each of the chains, working all the way across our row. One single crochet in each of the chains, and again we started in the second chain from the hook. So we began in the second chain from the hook and stitched a single crochet in each of our chains across. So we have 27 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now for row 2, we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 27 single crochets. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and so we start right in that first single crochet and stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets, working all the way across. So we stitched 1 single crochet in each of our single crochets across. All right, so we have 27 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. Now on row 3, we're going to be stitching in the back loop only. So we'll go right in that first stitch and stitch in the back loop. All right, now you have 2 loops. This is your front loop and this is your back loop. And we're going to be only stitching in the back loop only. So 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, working in the back loop only. And this is a little bit different from what we did on the hat. On the hat we worked in the 3rd loop, but on the scarf I think that it lays just a little bit better by stitching in the back loop only. And you get a similar effect. So we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only. So we stitched 1 single crochet in each of our 27 single crochets, stitching in the back loop only. You'll know that you did that correctly if you see this ridge here. And this is where we didn't stitch in the front loop. We only stitched in the back loop only. All right, so now we're going to chain 3 and turn. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch a double crochet in each of those single crochets across. When we're stitching a double crochet row, the chain 3 does count as your first double crochet. So we'll go into the next one and just stitch 1 double crochet in each of those single crochets, working all the way across. So on the single crochet rows, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch, but on the double crochet rows, the chain 3 does count as our first double crochet. All right, and so we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of our single crochets, working all the way across our row. I stitched 1 double crochet in each of my single crochets across, and remember our chain 3 counted as our first, so we started in the next stitch. So now I'm going to chain 3 and again I have 27 double crochets. Our chain 3 counts as our first stitch, and now we're going to alternate front post and regular stitches. So we'll come to the next stitch and stitch around that front post of our double crochet. Then we'll stitch a regular double crochet in the next. Then we'll stitch front post double crochet in the next, regular double crochet in the next. And this is what gives us that nice texture for our scarf and also our hat. We're alternating front post double crochet and regular double crochet. Okay, and if you don't know where the front post is, the post is this portion of the stitch down here. And we normally stitch up here where I stitched that one, but we're going to go around the post portion of our stitch and still stitch a double crochet. So we're still stitching double crochets, we're just placing them in a different place. All right, and we're alternating double crochet and front post double crochets all the way across on this row. And see how that makes it have a nice texture? I'm turning it so you can see that. All right, so we'll just repeat this across, alternating front post, regular double crochet. I have repeated that across, alternating my front post and my double crochet stitches, and you can see what a neat texture that makes. All right, so our last stitch was a regular double crochet, and we're going to chain 3. We're going to turn our work. All right, so our chain 3 counts as our first. We're going to place a regular double crochet in the next stitch. So that gives us 2 regular double crochets at the beginning. Now we're going to stitch a back post. So we're going to go around and stitch a double crochet in the back post. And it's called a back post because we're doing it from the back side. And you want to make sure that you stick your back posts in the regular double crochets from the other side. And then we're going to regular double crochet in the front posts from the other side. All right, so yarn over, go around the back post, and stitch a double crochet. So we're regular double crocheting in the front posts from the front and double crocheting in the back post of the regular double crochets. All right. All right, let me pull a loop so I don't pull that out, but I want you to see what it looks like from the front. So I've turned it over. This is the front of our work. So we double crocheted in the top of our front post, and then we back post in the regular double crochet. All right, and then we're just going to repeat that across. All right, so this is our front post from this side, so I'm just going to stitch a double crochet, and then we'll back post around that regular double crochet. So we're alternating regular double crochets and back post double crochets, because when you're working on the back of your work and you stitch, you're going it's called a back post. And when you're on the front side of your work, it's called a front post, because you're stitching around the posts just from the back or from the front. All right, so our regular double crochet goes in the front post from the front, and then our back post goes in the regular double crochets working from the back of our work. Okay, so again, you can see how that looks. Our back posts are stitched in the regular double crochets from the previous rows, and that's what makes the fun texture. We're still going to have 27 stitches, and every row will have the 27 stitches. All right, so I'm just going to continue this across, alternating regular double crochets and back post double crochets. So I've worked this across, stitching, alternating back posts and regular double crochets. When you get to the end, you'll have 2 double crochets, and you'll stitch 1 double crochet in those last 2 stitches. And then chain 3 and turn our work. All right, we had 2 double crochets at the beginning of our work over here, then we alternated across, and we ended with 2 double crochets over here. And you can see that makes just a really pretty stitch. Now when we did the hat, we didn't have back post stitches because we were stitching in a round, and it was all done in front post. But because we're going back and forth, we have that row with the back post stitches. All right, so we chained 3, and now we're just going to repeat what we did on this first row of alternating front post and back post. Okay, so we'll front post double crochet in the next stitch, and then regular double crochet in the next. And so you end up front posting around the regular double crochets. There we go. And then a regular double crochet in those back post stitches. And so we're alternating again like we did on that other row. Let's see, this is row 7, so it was row 5 that we're repeating. Okay? We're doing it just the same. Regular double crochet, front post, regular front post, regular front post, all the way across, just like we did down here on row 5. So I have completed row 7, which was just a repeat of row 5, and you can see what a great texture that makes. It's super pretty. All right, now after we completed row 7, we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to stitch a single crochet in each of those 27 double crochet stitches. Now remember, when we chain 1, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and so we stitch right in that first one and stitch 1 single crochet in each of those stitches, working all the way across our row. One single crochet in each. So I've stitched 1 single crochet in each of my stitches across. So again, I have 27 single crochets. And now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this row down here where we stitched in the back loop only. So we chained 1, we turned our work back to the front, and we're going to stitch in the back loop only, working all the way across our row, just like we did down there on row 3. 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only, if I can get it on my crochet hook there. Alrighty, so we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only. And again, you'll see that row there where we didn't stitch in those front loops. And we'll do this all the way across our row. So now I have completed row 9, which is 1 single crochet and each of my single crochets working in that back loop only. And so it looks just like this one, right? Alrighty, and so now this is the repeat. You're going to repeat row 4 through row 9 for 19 more times, or more or less. And so what that means is row 4 through row 9, you're going to repeat that 19 more times to get a scarf that is 50 inches long. If you want your scarf longer, do more of the repeats. If you want it shorter, do less of the repeats. All right? But if you do according to the pattern as I have written and repeat row 4 through row 9 for 19 more times, you're going to get a scarf that's approximately 50 inches long. And again, the rule of thumb is that the length of the scarf should be the same as the height of the person. That doesn't always mean that's what they want. That's just the rule of thumb when you're making a scarf. All right? So, repeat row 4 through row 9 for 19 more times, or 19 more repeats. So here is my scarf. I've repeated the repeat as many times as I wanted to, and I did 19 repeats. It's up to you. That'll give you 20 of your repeats because we did 1 and then we repeated it 19 more times. And isn't this beautiful the way this ombre looks? I think it's just gorgeous the way that it moves with the yarn. Okay? And so that brings us to, let me roll this up so it's out of the way here. This brings us to the end. We ended on a row 9, which is the back loop only. And then the last row we need to do is just 1 more row of single crochet. All right, so here's my last row where we stitched our single crochet in the back loop only. We chained 1 and we're going to turn our work because we're going to do 1 more row just so that this end looks similar to the beginning end. Okay, and so all we're going to do is stitch 1 single crochet in each of our single crochets across. So I have stitched 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets across. I'm going to cut my yarn, tie that off, and now all I have to do is weave in my end. There we go. I want to make sure I weave it to the back and securely, going through fibers and stitches. And because I used only 1 skein of yarn, all I have to do is weave in the beginning and the end, and I'm all done. But remember, you can do this in whatever colors that you want. It doesn't have to be the ombre, but boy, I sure love the way the ombre looks. Alrighty, so now my scarf is all finished and ready to be worn with my beautiful hat. Alright, so the ends are all weaved in. The hat's all complete because we did that in the first video. And now my scarf is complete and I have a beautiful set. I can keep this for myself or I can save it to give as a gift. But I have someone special in mind that I want to give this to. All right, so I think I'm going to package it up and get it ready to give as a gift. But I absolutely love the way the hat and the scarf for our back to school set turned out. I think you will too.